Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. My name is Todd.
I'm Jen.
We are co-owners of Hello Hair Co. salon in Southern New Hampshire. And now we have a podcast. Here we are. Today we're talking about social media and marketing. And hopefully we can provide some actionable steps for people so that they can actually
do something with the information.
Yes.
I think it's a really great topic because I do feel there are probably 700 things you could pull up in 1 second about social media and marketing without really giving you tips and stuff that will work. So my hope is that there's some just a few things that you're like, whoa, if I do that, like that would be amazing. I didn't think of it that way. Like that would be my takeaway for anyone today.
I think one of the aspects of marketing is social media, but I think people spend
marketing is social media.
That's not your whole thing. If you think so, unless you're like an Instagram influencer, and you're probably not if you're listening to our podcast, maybe you are. Maybe. I don't know. Welcome.
But most likely,
we'd love to hear from you because we want some tips.
Yeah.
But most likely, you're not going to, or you shouldn't, spend your entire focus or all of your bandwidth on just Instagram or on just Facebook. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I've seen it not work so many times for people.
Yeah, I think it's a place where you lay out information, and to me, this is how we coach our staff. Especially for Instagram. Instagram is your like live business card. It's your business card. Used to just be a card with your name on it, but now if you can drive people that you actually meet out in society in the town that you are doing your services in, they can now go to your Instagram and see your work and see you. You should be on your Instagram. Your face should be there. So then they're like, oh, that's who I was talking to. That's what she or he looks like. And this is what she specializes in. This is her work. And now they hopefully will take action and call you.
Agreed. 1,000%, which isn't even a thing. It's 100. It's the highest you can go. So I think people have to realize too that Instagram, I use Instagram. I love Instagram. It's fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not knocking it. But what I see people do too often is just copy what other people are doing, and it doesn't work for them. It doesn't drive business.
Agreed.
It doesn't fill their chair or their book or whatever their goal is. If they even have a goal with it, a lot of times people are just posting arbitrary stuff.
I think there's the misconception that if you just post random shit all day long on Instagram, you're just going to get clients. And that is the first. And
famous.
Yeah, and famous, right? The first mistake you could do is just arbitrarily just put a bunch of random shit. Now, if you like unicorn hair and you are posting your unicorn hair and then maybe you follow some people that you like their unicorn hair, at least tell us when we're looking at your social media why you're posting random people's unicorn hair. Like, oh, I want to do this on somebody.
Like sharing somebody else's.
Yeah, if you're sharing someone else's work and you're just putting it on your stories, I, as even a client and honestly a stylist and owner, I'm like, what's the intent here? Why did you share this? Is it just because you love it? Cool. Put that on the story so it becomes your own. I love these colors. I want to do these colors on your hair.
Right.
Give me a reason why I'm looking at this story of someone else's random work. Or maybe that's your friend and you want people to follow your friend. Hey, go follow my friend and follow her work. Like, tell us why you're putting this on here. Give me some insight.
So
please.
I'm not going to number these the whole way through because I'll lose track, but that's tip number 1 right there.
Yeah, for
Action
sure.
Tip number 1, have intent with your posts.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we're going to get into how we can, we'll get into how we can help you solve that.
Love that.
I think too, it's important to realize that as you're going through and copying people or as you're consuming social media, it's a highlight reel. Mm-hmm. If somebody's mistakes are on there, it's because they intended to put those mistakes on there. And odds are it's fake. Mm-hmm. Because I've seen people that will post things and say things and make claims on social media that I know in real life that aren't doing those things.
Correct.
And I'm like, that's not true.
Social media is very fake.
So, which is fine.
It's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be whatever you, however you want to reinvent yourself, go right ahead. Like that's,
Sure, make up a character. I don't care. Just
Yeah.
have an intent.
Yeah.
Have a reason for your posts.
agreed.
So I think that people need to, first of all, when it comes to marketing as a whole, they need to treat their businesses like a media company.
Mhm.
That's how I look at Hello Hair. That's what we
Who
do.
does Hello Hair Co's Instagram? Because a lot of people think it's me.
A lot of people think it's you.
And fuck no, not for me. Wouldn't look that great. The language wouldn't be that great. It's Todd. That is just not my jam. I do my own. I'm painting all the hairs. Feel free to follow that. But no. Hello's Instagram is Todd, and it's beautiful and professional.
Thank you. So I think people need to realize that, again, Instagram and Facebook are just one sort of spoke in your wheel.
Correct.
We use Facebook, Instagram. Now we have videos going out on YouTube. Hello Hair Pro. You can find us on YouTube. We have multiple blogs now going out.
Yep. We're working
We
on a
have-
monthly newsletter.
We have a newsletter that will be going out. So our email list, which we'll get into why you need an email list. We utilize Google.
Mhm.
And we have live and virtual events coming up. All of that is content.
Mhm.
It's just how you're delivering it. So you're delivering it through various media. So if you approach your business marketing as you're a media company and you produce content for that company and you put it out through appropriate channels, you'll do better. Period.
Should drive business.
It should drive business. So when we look at what drives business, for example, to our website,
Mhm.
which is then where people would hopefully book an appointment, Google is overwhelming for us.
Yeah,
It
huge.
triples what Facebook and Instagram do, numbers wise.
Yes.
So that's where we're focusing right now. So we have
Right.
Google My Business, which we keep up with, which if you're not, you need to get on there
We
and
can help.
post. Yeah, reach out. It's a little bit of work to set up, but then just
The reward side of that for us has been really great to
we've
reaching new
noticed.
people.
So you can look at all of your analytics and you can see who's going to your website, who's calling, and it helps a lot.
well, yeah, then you know where
And
to
that's
focus
free.
your time and attention.
That's free. And now we're starting to focus and dabble into, actually we hired somebody. I don't
Yeah.
do this, but into Google Ads, which
Yeah.
is something that people should at least explore.
There's always going to be a point where you can only take your business so far. And then that's
You
where
need a team.
And then you reach out when you can. So Todd has done so much for us up to the point where he's like, okay, I can only learn so much from the internet. And at this point, he needs to focus his attention somewhere else. So it's time
we
for
need a
us-
specialist.
Yeah. And that's how we ended up with the person that we just hired, which is also very difficult to find someone competent. So
Yes, we struggled to find somebody, but
Yeah.
if we finally got a recommendation and it's been great so far. So
absolutely.
I think like a quick, super impactful sort of action step or something to think about. Picture scrolling through Instagram. It is, and I hate this, it's the back of a head, the back of the head, the back of the head, the back of the head.
Sometimes aside.
You see where I'm going? Yeah,
But just-
a little side flick or
Yeah.
or somebody holding their hair from the back. Or
Yeah, they're
whatever.
all the same.
Okay, they're all the same. The captions are caramel balayage,
Vanilla swirl.
vanilla swirl,
Good one.
cupcake,
Money piece.
money piece,
I'm having fun with this game.
spooky season. What are people doing?
Yeah.
That's not different. It doesn't stand out. So,
And you're wasting so much energy on trying to come up with that caption.
oh, I've
'Cause
seen
let me
people
tell you,
spend
like,
so much
yes,
time.
it's
Do you think
not-
this is caramel or do you think it's more like a French latte?
No one gives a flying fuck.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? So let's get into the what, who, how.
Yeah. So you have this beautiful picture of hair, right? Let's go with that.
And this will help people figure out
Yeah.
how to be different.
Okay. So you've captured, you've done your caramel balayage. You've taken your pictures, most likely all from the back of the head or the side or wherever you wanted it. And honestly, most likely even with a busy background. So now
Backgrounds
pause.
kill me too.
Pause. take that person over to a background that is neutral and simple and clean and nothing else, and get a picture of the front of her fucking face with her smiling. Get in the picture with the client. Like, make it fun. Why do I want to come see you? Because you're fun, because your clients seem like they're having fun. So that's your first step. Start
Yeah,
taking...
if everyone's having fun in the same spot, it's
Yeah.
amazing how many people are like,
Now, if you're...
what's going on over
If
there?
your Instagram, whatever life you want it to be, you're trying to teach all of the stylists out there how to do this caramel balayage. So the backs of the heads may be important to you because you're trying to show them placement or whatever.
You
I
need
totally
to show
get
your
that.
work. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't show your work,
But some of that has
but it needs
to be
intent.
Yes. So you've got your pictures of the back of the head that you think are beautiful, but a client that might not stop them from scrolling. Whereas someone smiling or you with them or something else like that that really stops them in their tracks is going to get the first engagement on that picture. That's your first part of your homework. There's homework. Did you know?
I did not know we were dishing out homework, but so let's run through the what, who, how. So what you need to you need to answer these 3 questions. And if you're following along, you should take the time to do this. Like, grab a piece of paper. This shit is important, and
Yeah.
there's a ton of value in what we're going to say next. So what do you want to do? And be specific. So I just wrote a post that I think went out to our mailing list, and I might have posted it as a blog as well.
It went on the mailing list. Don't
Right.
just say color, right?
Yeah, be
So what do you want
specific.
to do?
So
I want to be a color specialist.
Yeah, no.
What does
not
that mean?
specific
Like,
enough.
keep going. Yeah.
So dive into specifically what do you want to do. So for example, foiling, like a color technique, is a better answer
Yeah.
than color.
Mhm.
Okay. And I would nail down 1 or 2 tops.
Mhm.
I feel like, a little side note, when I meet people that are interested in working with us, for us, we always ask, what do you specialize in? What do you want to specialize in? Well, I love balayage, lived-in looks. I'm a blonding expert. I love short hair. I'm a beast with clippers. I love long layered haircuts. I do lashes, makeup. Too much. You're not specializing in every.
And you can
can't-
do all those things, but
yes,
what
dabble, but
what fills your cup?
exactly.
What makes you want to come into work every day? That makes you so happy if you had all of those in your schedule and sprinkled in with all those other things. What person and specialty?
So that's going to bring us to our next point. So you have to identify what you want to do and be specific. Okay. If you're not sure, that's fine. Try to figure it out. Now you need to identify who you want to do it for. Who does what you do serve?
Mm-hmm.
And by serve, I mean, whose problems do you solve? Well, let's use an example. Say you specialize in some foiling technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a barber. I don't do color. Bear
I can
with
teach
me.
you.
I'm good. So, say you specialize in this foiling technique,
Mm-hmm.
and your who, or who you want in your chair and you identify with, is moms.
Oh, this sounds like the one
Let's
I went through.
get more specific.
Yeah.
Maybe it's stay-at-home moms or young moms of young children or whatever. Okay, be specific. How does your foiling technique solve one of their problems? Well, first we have to figure out what their problems are, or common pain points throughout their day. They're probably short on time. Meaning they don't have time to get themselves ready. So they need some style. They need something that's going to look good.
Get up and
simple,
go. Yeah.
with very little maintenance. So they need low maintenance. They want to be taken care of because they spend the majority, I think I might be reciting the blog I wrote.
Yeah, majority of their day.
The
is
majority of
spent
the
taking
day
care of
is
everyone else.
taking care of everyone else. Now they want some time for them. So now you start to look at these problems. You can look at your what and how it solves those problems for them. And that's the story you start to tell. And that brings us to our next question, which is how. So how are you going to inform these people that you have this amazing service that solves their problem? And I think it's just figuring out where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can identify, now you have moms. Where are moms? I'm trying to remember the blog post because I
So
put
we
it in there.
had talked about Facebook mom group pages.
Yeah, so
right?
this
That's-
isn't just physically where they are. This is virtually as well. So there might be moms pages
Get on those
on Facebook.
and
Have some intent instead of just jumping on and posting on your town page, hey, I'm a stylist, come see me.
dive that deeper.
Take it to the next step. So where else might moms of young kids be?
Probably grabbing a coffee when their kids
After their kids go off to school, maybe they're grabbing a coffee.
Meet a friend. And
maybe they're in a park with their kids on the weekends, but figure out where they are so that you can target your message.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the what, who, how sort of strategy. Okay. The next thing you have to do is focus on your captions. So on Instagram, when you write, can we use something other than Carmel Balayage? Give me something else.
I said money piece because that one drives me nuts.
Drives me insane too. I hate that term. So when you just post a picture, that's not going to work for the back of the head.
Money piece is not going to work for the back of the head.
Bad example, Jen.
Somebody might post that back of the head and write money piece.
I'm sure they do.
Because they know there's a money piece there.
So here's the deal.
Or their second picture was the money piece.
Let's just stick with the balayage here.
It's more fun.
So if you post the back of someone's head and you write pumpkin latte balayage,
honestly, it makes me want to go have a coffee.
How the fuck does that solve someone's problem? How does that solve? Why would I stop on that? So what are you telling me?
I don't think a lot of people that are posting on Instagram or social media platforms are looking at solving problems with their pictures, because I do feel,
well, it's telling the story. You need to tell the story.
If you look back on my painting all the hairs, like I was the Carmel Balayage person, but I didn't know, like I spent so much time in the caption.
Did I yell at you?
Oh, I'm sure. The caption was like stressing me out. I was like, what the heck? Like I wouldn't even post a picture because I couldn't figure out how to caption it when all I had to do. So there was a point actually where I started doing extensions, and I learned extensions just because I wanted to help. I love working with people with fine hair. So I wanted to help fill in the front of their hair that was never going to grow. And so my problem solving became like, do you want to have that bob that's full and has a clean line to it? You know, I can help you because there's a service now I can offer, rather than just like check out my extensions. Like nobody would have understood or
why.
Like why. So instead, like I'm showcasing my work. I need to now obviously get the front of the head, the side of the head, the back where the extensions are. But the problem I was solving with why I became extension certified was so that I could help people. If you can never grow in the front of your hair, it's never going to grow in. I can help do that for you with using extensions. So I've, figured out the problem I was trying to solve by learning the extension and then explaining why they needed it. And that was like mind blown. Holy crap.
Yeah, captions. Because you might even with the back of your head, the back of someone's head, you might get someone to pause on that. I don't. I generally scroll through. There's too many of them.
Right.
So.
And you want to set yourself apart.
And I don't have time to just sit and scroll on social media. You need to stop me and solve a problem, or have something interesting at least that
for sure.
Literally not everyone else is doing. So back to the who, or the what, who, how. You need a call to action in your caption. So you write out your caption, and this is something I've been working on because my captions got lazy for a long time. And my business coach, shout out, was like, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. Your captions suck. She just laid it on me, and I was like, yep. I had no answer. Mm-hmm. So I started to put some thought into the captions, but then you have to have a clear call to action, because if you've got someone's attention, which is hard to get.
Yeah. What do you want them to do?
Enough that they went to the caption and they read it through. This is powerful. Tell them what to do next.
Yes.
It's that simple. And make it simple.
Yeah.
Enough with the call or DM or send smoke signals or send an email or send a letter or book online. Too many options. People are looking for simple. You just identified this mom that doesn't have time, and now you're adding friction. You're adding these steps.
And this is a great point where who are you as if you're a stylist, a barber, an owner, whatever, who do you want to be? Like, how do you want them to contact you? Like, take control of that. If you don't really want people DMing you, don't give that as an option. If you don't want someone texting your phone, don't give that as an option. If you want everybody to book online,
There are solutions for that too, because I hear that
There
a
are.
lot where
Yeah.
people will say, I don't want my clients reaching out directly to me. Get a Google number or
but drive your
use a
clients
service.
to where you want them to. Don't give them all the
Perfect
options. 'Cause
opportunity to do that.
Yeah, what everyone else is doing. So you're just following suit. If you want everyone to book online, link in bio, book online. That's the option you give them. That's
and
it.
spend some time thinking about who your target audience is, who your avatar is, and where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're on Facebook, maybe it's easy for them to reach out through Facebook. If you tell me to reach out through Facebook, I'm never going to reach out. I don't spend time on Facebook.
Online booking to me is the best resource you can offer because it can be done 24 hours a day.
And it's simple and clean.
Yeah, whenever
Go
you-
here,
yeah.
pick the time, hit book.
Yeah. Our online booking, we just updated with people's pictures on it. So it makes it even more simple. If you can't get in with me, you might not remember the person I recommended, but when you see her face or his face, you're like, oh, that's who I'm supposed to be with. So it really keeps it so simple.
Gotcha. It does. So, yeah, stop with the posting the back of the heads with arbitrary captions and expecting something to happen.
And be thought driven into the pictures you put out, that it's detracting the business you want, the person you want, right? And then what are they supposed to do
True
with
story. So another thing that I want people to stop doing, and I'm not talking about trends or jumping on fun stuff. Stop just copying what everyone else is doing. That's the
please.
easiest way to not be found. Look, if everyone is doing it and it's not working, why would you think it's going to magically work for you?
Also, some of the stuff that people share, I'm like, do they even read this? Like, do they even know what they're sharing and like what it means? I don't know. Like, I'm like, I think you just arbitrarily, like, oh, I'm just share everyone. I saw 7 other people before me share it, so I'm going to share it. Like, some of the stuff that even
The sharing is a whole other topic.
Like major
those like
companies-
reshare pages
Yeah.
that post like about fake enemies.
I was
and,
just
like,
gonna say, so some of these major companies are literally trying to like create like
post
a
trash.
fake enemy to get you irritated,
clickbait.
whatever.
It's
Yeah.
clickbait.
And then you're sharing it and all you're doing is like making this monster out of it. Like, really think about it. Like, does this pertain to the audience I want to attract? Is this part of who I want to be? Is this the message I want to send out? And if it is, go for it. But don't just put it out there. Like, really think about that. Like, even if you're an independent stylist or a stylist, like, what are your core values? What do you want, people to know you for and remember you for and come into you for? So if you're using your social media platform, it should portray that.
I saw a barber recently, or a barber page. I don't even remember. And they posted something like, the average lawyer charges $50 an hour. A barber can make that in 15 minutes while they watch TV. Never disrespect us again, or something. And I was like, first of all, I don't know who your lawyer is.
Yeah.
$50 lawyer?
Dang.
I don't want that, first of all. Second of all, let's not get carried away here.
And no, who's disrespecting you? If someone is,
Nobody. Tell them
move
to piss
on.
off.
Yeah.
Fire your client and tell them to go down the road.
or your friend, whoever it is. Like,
So,
stop.
yeah. Stop copying what everyone else is doing. Stop resharing
authentic.
stupid shit.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
I think we always say that.
Be
Authentic,
authentic.
integrity. It's so important.
It's important because everyone else is so fake
Yeah.
on social media. If you are authentic and you let your real self come through, people will pick up on that.
Yeah.
For
Or if you created an alter ego that you're like, this is who I want to be in the hair world or whatever world you're in.
Sure.
Again, stick with whatever the core values are of that person that you
Sure.
created.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do. Look, I'm not telling people they have to do things in a certain way. I have people reach out to me, and I have the tiniest little Instagram following of like 200 people. And I have people message all the time that are like, I love that you're just like blunt, or I love that you're just you and you don't apologize. And I'm like, well, there's nothing to apologize. Who would I be apologizing to? There's nothing wrong with just being yourself, but that is a perfect example of how just being honest and real gets noticed.
Yeah. And it's helping people. Like the few people that have reached out, I know that they're truly getting somewhere because you're
Right.
able to kind of give them
Right. Well, I'm
guidance
able
in a way
to.
that's real.
I'm able to connect with people
Yeah.
because they're reaching out. So here we go. That's a great point. And now I'm engaging with people on social media because it's social. Social. So engage people. Leverage social media, but don't spend too much time there. I think we already talked about that kind of. Again, you've got to sort of diversify your marketing. If you enjoy writing, write. If you enjoy making videos or being on camera, do that. And then fill in, the appropriate channels. So if you have, for example, here's something you can do. If you write a blog, you could record yourself talking about that blog or giving like the highlights of that blog. And now you have multiple pieces of content that you can spread in different places, all from one idea.
Right.
You don't have to recreate the wheel every single freaking time.
No, it's just getting the information out to the different audiences on the different platforms.
Where they are. So here's one that never say the word algorithm again. You're not going to beat the fucking algorithm.
Trying to figure out Instagram's algorithm, and I think if I do this, and I'm like, you're fucking stupid. Sorry.
I would bet that most
You're probably
people,
not stupid, whoever I'm talking to, but
we're talking.
You're
general,
not going to beat Instagram or Facebook or whatever algorithm they have. So
they have entire teams of people dedicated to updating these things and changing these things, and don't spend time on fucking hacks and tips and tricks. And if you post in the captions and if you use your hashtags here and use exactly this many seconds, and oh my God, solve someone's problem. Solve someone's problem. Give them a reason to engage you. Engage them back.
And you're good to go.
And give them a clear call to action.
Yeah. It is that simple. I know it's like, you're like, well, is it really? It is. And then be consistent, right? I'm sure you're probably going to get to that, but the consistent part is important with following those steps.
I think with anything, consistency is important. Any aspect of your business, consistency is important. So this is no different. So sure, yeah, I agree 100%.
I'd rather see someone post once a week, every week, than do 5 one week, miss the next week, 5 the next week.
Oh, I see people that'll like, never post, and then it's like my whole feed is 13 of their pictures.
Yeah, I shoot for once a week to get a post. I'm on stories every day, but
sure.
If I can get a post up,
you don't have to post every single day to be productive on social media. And again, you should be diversified. So you're doing other things. You're hitting multiple things.
Yeah.
Weekly, daily, monthly, whatever that looks like. So we'll have a newsletter. It'll go out once a month.
Because we knew we could commit to once a month.
Right. We have a podcast. The podcast goes out once a week. So it's not always that more is better. It's the consistency part, because people will start to understand. You're sort of training people. They expect it. If I know you post every Monday and Wednesday and I like your content on Monday and Wednesdays, I'm going to be looking for your content. So if on Tuesday you post 25 pictures because you're all flustered, I'm like, what is this? What's happening?
That's what I was going to say. When we decide to do these things that Todd and I have taken on, there's lots of brainstorming, a layout, but it's also, okay, how are we going to commit to this consistently? Like, that's always the biggest question. Like, how often can we do this? And we want to do it that well and follow that model for us.
And I think people should diversify, but don't spread yourself so thin. You don't need 9 different Instagram accounts, 5 different websites. You don't need all that stuff.
And pick one thing to start. So if the first thing to start is even just like, all right, I'm going to post some of my own face. I'm going to post some of my client's face, and maybe I'll have a call to action. And then I'm going to work on, these other things. But like, you don't have to do everything at once. Don't get overwhelmed. Like, take it and then just keep adding it on.
No, don't get overwhelmed, because then you're going to quit.
Yeah, as it becomes normal, add something else. Okay, now I'm doing this consistently, add something else. Like, baby steps. We all want to get to the finish line super fast. Maybe not everybody, but like, that's generally how I want to do everything. And then it's generally a fail because you can't do that well and you can't do it consistently. So you got to like dial yourself back.
Agreed. So you need to establish what your goals are as well. So you've got to figure out who your audience is, where they are, how your what solves their problems, all that. That is great. And you need to do it, but you also need to figure out why you're doing this. So if you're constantly posting pictures and using industry terms, be honest with yourself. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the person you want sitting in your seat, or are you talking to other stylists and other barbers? Mm-hmm. It's fine, but understand that if you're talking to other barbers, and, right, too. What problems are you solving of theirs?
Yeah.
If you're just trying to get that dopamine hit and get those likes because you did a great dimensional hair color or whatever, you're probably not going to have luck.
I was going to say
marketing towards.
I was like, go for it, but the result is not going to drive business into your chair.
If you're trying to drive business into your chair, that's not where you're going to get out of that.
If you just want to post on Instagram because you're like, I don't give.
Unless you're trying to be the stylist. Like mm-hmm. if your target is other stylists and you're open on Mondays and most salons are closed on Mondays and you're open because you want that to be your target audience, then go ahead, use that language. But don't get crazy in using all this technical terms with people that don't give a shit. Because I don't care what anything is called. Just cut my hair. Mm-hmm. When my hair is getting colored, just color my hair. I don't care. Don't give me any of the background. So be honest with yourself. Establish those goal audiences, and figure out what the purpose is behind everything that you're doing. As far as I see this too, all the tagging of like the reshare pages and all the other, salon magazines. I don't know what people think is going to happen, but if that page comments on your page or reshares, that's cool. Again, I'm not knocking it, but if your goal is to drive business, it won't. I don't.
Been featured in a magazine. It didn't drive us any business. It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I shared it.
So cool. But I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was it. It just had a cool.
It was
factor.
Modern Salon.
Yeah, it was just
Salon Today. It was Modern Salon. It was the Salon Today. They're the same.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that cool,
I didn't have a single person reach out and say,
right,
hey, can I book an appointment at your salon? I saw you in Modern Salon magazine.
We used it even as a post, but it was just cool to get
the
likes, and it was.
And
we
you
were
should
excited
share
about
that
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
But if that's the majority of what you're trying to do, is to get
I think
noticed,
that's the key word, the majority, right?
That's not going to drive business for
Agreed.
you. So stop trying to get shared.
I'll share your stuff if you tag me.
I think something that happened recently and people were like, oh my God, was when Facebook and Instagram were down for that 8 hours, 6 hours, whatever. And people were like, oh my God. Now, if you're one of those people that is like, DM is the only way to reach me.
You probably were effed.
Yeah, you're screwed that day.
Yeah.
No one's DMing you. So I'm a big fan of email lists for this reason. Email is never going to go away. It's always going to be there. And then you have a direct line of communication. So what you can do with an email list is you collect the emails. Generally, you give something to someone, which we're still actually in the process of setting up. We've started collecting emails. If you're not on our email list, jump on there. You can find it on our website. I'll put the link in the show notes. But generally, you can offer somebody something. Maybe it's a personalized video, or maybe it's a PDF file explaining whatever. Think about your target audience and what problems you can solve, and then come up with something that solves it, that you can do once and then automate it. Use a email solution. We use MailChimp. Set it and forget it. And that's it. Right? But now you have constant access to your clients.
And getting the information you want to get to them.
Correct.
Yep.
And then you can commit to that. So I send out a weekly email now. We were doing it less, but I was like, I think weekly is okay without overwhelming. I don't want to ever spam anyone. So you don't want to hit people up every single day. But the email list is super important.
Yeah.
So back to social media for a second. I think that I don't want to get crazy off on a tangent, and we're probably wrapping up soon, but people become obsessed with social media. And I think it's not good for people's mental health because you're basing things off of someone else's maybe reality, maybe not so much.
You don't know their story. You just see what they want you to. Or
basing your, I would imagine people do this, basing your worth off
worth
of,
and happiness of what you see.
Off of the engagement. Maybe you don't get likes on a post that you thought was going to crush it.
One of the most favorite things you and I have said, and you notice it more than me, is we love when people post and keep posting and keep trying to get engagement, and you can see they're not getting it, but they consistently still do it. And I'm like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Now, hopefully they're making little tweaks along the way so that they're adjusting, because if you're doing the same thing over and over again and not getting a result, then you're just wasting your time.
And hopefully at some point it goes over that mountain, and then they're like, oh, cool, it's working.
But don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, that's my point, for sure.
For sure. So that was just what I wanted to touch on at the end, was sort of the mental health sort of side of things, because again, going back to those reshare pages and that clickbait bullshit that's out there, it shakes up the hornet's nest. And that's the intent.
Yeah. That's what they want.
That's their target audience is the person that just blindly jumps in, comments, because that drives traffic to them.
It's blowing it up.
So just be careful, because social media can cause this sort of mass hysteria where people start arguing and take these sort of really polarized positions and start fighting fake enemies that don't exist.
Play in the land of positivity and
be yourself.
Get your stuff out there and do it in a way that is clear and concise and consistent.
I think we should wrap on that.
Love it.
Perfectly put. So thanks for listening again. I'm Todd.
I'm Jen.
Subscribe, like, comment, email. Just kidding.
Share.
Don't do all of that stuff. We just said be clear with call to action. Do this. Join our mailing list. That's your call to action.
That would be awesome.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.